Hello, thank you for watching Chittaruba Yoga and Fitness. I'm Laura Wilson, teaching you how to modify exercises so that everybody can find a way to work out. And today is all about chair pose. So we're going to look at ways to modify chair pose. If you can do this barefoot, great, but if you want to, you can do this in shoes. Just make sure you have a mat, a nice safe space, and we're going to look at several variations, different ways. And it's always fun. Sometimes we need to modify a pose, but sometimes it's fun to just do it in a different way than you're used to, because it kind of uses your muscles in a different way, keeps your body challenged. So sometimes try this, some of the different variations that we're going to look at today, and let me know in the comments what you think. If you found one that's supposed to be easy, but seemed a bit more challenging for you. That's why I don't like to call certain poses and adaptations easy, because sometimes they're not, particularly if we're not used to a particular way of doing an exercise. So let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, give me that thumbs up. And let's go ahead and start looking at our chair pose. I like the literal translation of this is utkatasana is powerful pose, because it takes a lot of power to do this pose the way it is traditionally done. And I'm just going to show it that way just so that you know what chair pose generally looks like if you look in a book. So it is done with the feet together, knees will squeeze together. We're going to shift back way deep, arms overhead. So you can try this if you want, but I find it to be a bit of a challenge. Actually, I've been doing it enough lately that it's not as challenging as it used to be. So that's why we want to try doing things in different ways, especially if we do get to a plateau in any exercise. Trying to do it in a modified variation can help us get through that. So let's look first for the best way to do our chair pose for most people is going to be hip distance feet. We want to be mindful of our core and our spine. We're not going to want to round when we get into this. We want to keep our spine long. So let's take a soft bend in our hip distance knees and just hinge forward first. Find the thighs start to engage, but feel this hinge right here. Our spine stays completely long, it's not bending. See the difference? Hinge. So find that hinge at the hips, and we're just going to take an inch here, keeping our chest up. So whatever variation we do, our body is going to be hinged forward at some point, but we want to try to keep our heart lined up with our wall, and it helps if our gaze stays there too. We might even look up, but that can be a strain on our neck. So let's focus on keeping our gaze straight ahead for now. We can push our hips back a little further. Hands can come to our thighs. That takes some of the pressure off of our lower back, and we might even find that we can go deeper if we do this. But let's not let our shoulders shrug up. Let's press them down, heart forward, and let's come up and give ourselves a little break here. If you can hold the chair the whole time we're explaining this, definitely more power to you. So let's come back to that hip distance stance, and let's shift back just into that inch. So hands can stay here, and again, that's a nice variation. Hands can also stay at our heart, allowing us to go deeper without that fear of tipping forward. The other thing to think about is a lot of people will train you to do squats or chair pose by shifting your weight back onto your heels. But what happens there is you can fall backwards. We don't want that. So think about your foot. We want to put the pressure just behind the ball of our foot, right here at that start of our arch. That way we're most balanced on our feet, and we're not likely to fall back when we shift back. So while traditionally chair pose would have arms up by our ears, that can be a strain on our upper body and our lower back. So if we want to lift up and make this more challenging, if you're not used to this, it'll be more challenging. We want to reach our arms straight forward. Again, we can keep it here to protect our shoulders, take a little ease on our lower back, hands on our thighs to take some pressure off our lower back as well. So let's lift up from here, shake that out. Let me know if this tutorial helped you at all. Please do try. What we're going to do next is go ahead and hold each variation for quite several breaths. But do let me know in the comments below if you felt challenged by any of these particular variations. So let's begin. Hip distance feet, hands at our thighs. So let's take it back, chest up, shoulders back and down. Inhaling and exhaling. And just noticing how this feels. Let's bring that up. And we can step out and circle our hips. We'll take the variation with our hands together at our heart next. But if you need to stay hands on thighs, stay there. We're going to shift back a little bit or a lot. Weight behind the balls of our feet so our feet are level on the floor. We can still wiggle our toes. Lifting our heart, pressing it straight forward to the ball, gazing straight ahead. Feeling some fire in the legs there. All right, let's try that third variation. Or either of the other two variations if you're not ready for this one. Hips back, chest forward, arms forward. And again, relaxing our shoulders down and away. We want to pretend we're holding a ball. We can even take our palms down. I find it's a little more natural to hold the ball. Palms facing each other. Tailbone pressing back. Let's lift up from here and take a forward fold and let everything go for a moment. Be sure to stretch out a bit after this. I've got some videos below that'll help you out with that. I'll also have some links to some other videos that break down individual yoga poses for you. So be sure to have a look at those because you never know when they'll show up in one of our longer workouts. Thanks again for subscribing to the channel, giving it the thumbs up, and be sure to let me know if you tried cheer in a different way today and you felt something you hadn't felt before, let me know because I'm betting you did. See you next time.